Way. Yeah, two Bay boys made it from the ground up. Smooth talk, good feelings when you find us. Creating something for community, it's all vibes. Tune in, cause you about to have a good time. Celebrity, nothing nice, set the precedent. All real talk, only speaking realness. Real people, real stories, real issues. Fast break, open dunk for the win, too.
Welcome to another episode of Hometown Heroes Radio Cast. I am DJ Nothing Nice.
And I'm Celebrity.
And we have a very special guest. All our guests are special, but we have a very special guest today. We have Franco Finn.
What? Make some noise!
Yeah, the Bay Area's Hypeman. And if you don't know him by face, I'm sure you will know his voice. Especially if you're here from the Bay Area. He does Hypeman duties for the Warriors.
Yes, sir.
Done stuff for the Raiders, the Giants. He's I think you said you're auctioneer also.
Auctioneer. I've done some of the biggest events from Red Bull. Traveled across the country. Did NASCAR. Yes. Yeah, I did NASCAR for a season. Did the Rugby World Cup Sevens, sailing, GP World Championships here in the city. Pretty much every major event that comes to the Bay, they call me up.
Right. And he's not Hollywood because I've seen him at doing weddings as well.
Oh man, that got my start.
That's what I'm talking about.
The wedding MC,
okay,
So I do my starting lineups, wedding intro style, and I don't do as many as I used to because my weekends are all busy now, and I've got tons of events, auctions, corporate stuff, and all that. But I used to do a ton of weddings, man. I mean, like for 20 years.
Okay.
So speaking on,
wait a second. Before we go any further, we are sponsored by Grey Goose. So fellas, let's take this shot.
Must do. I like it.
Let's get some bills paid today.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. And let it just drip down.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes.
Like
So good.
All right, carry on, P.
You said you were. That's where you started. Was at weddings.
Well, I did weddings as a lot of side gigs and events, but I actually started in radio.
So yeah, tell us about how you started and how you got into this.
Yeah,
whole deal.
so this is crazy. So 21 years ago, nobody's ever heard of this station unless you were really into pop music back in the day. But it was called Radio Disney, okay? This is like the AM station that only kids, little like 12, 13, 14-year-olds that were into pop music would listen to. So it was my first job, okay, out of college. So I was like, okay.
What college you go to?
I went to Santa Clara University, SCU.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have two, by the way, head coaches right now in the NBA. The only school that has two. We got Steve Nash, who's coaching the Brooklyn Nets. And then we got my boy, Lloyd Pierce, Atlanta Hawks. Two Santa Clara alumni coaching in the NBA.
Speaking of Santa Clara, real quick, not to throw you off real quick, but just based off your personality, was that a party school?
You know what? It's funny. We called Santa Clara the poor man's Stanford, right?
Oh, okay.
Because it was, out in the peninsula, beautiful. Weather's, South Bay's always nice. Campus is gorgeous. But it didn't have like that name like Stanford, right? But we were, known for in the region, whatever. It's a great school, private school, whatnot. But let me tell you, those parties, they were off the hook.
I feel like I might have heard something
they were
about Santa
off
Clara.
the hook.
I feel like I might have heard something about the Santa Clara.
Well, because, we used to party a lot with like San Jose State
I was like,
folks.
yeah.
So they're like right around the way. So we would
Right.
have joint parties, and man, we would tear it up, man. I'm
Nice.
telling you, like, we pretty much created our own fraternities over there. Me and my friends over there, because there wasn't a lot of diversity at the time in the late '90s. I'm dating myself, but man, we made our own like little clubs and basically our own fraternities because we lived in a multicultural building. So when we signed up, they said, okay, do you want to go in the big freshman building? Do you want to go to this one? They all had different kind of themes. And I said, give me the diversity one. And it was called the Unity House. But that's where all the athletes would stay at.
That's
You
where
had the
real
baseball
parties
team,
is
the
at.
basketball team.
Yeah.
So that's why I knew like Steve Nash. I knew Lloyd Pierce. He lived right there, like 2 doors down from me. So these guys, I went to college with. They played ball for Santa Clara, but we were such a small school, so we all know each other. And it's just so great to see these guys in the NBA. I've been in the NBA for, almost 20 years. Those guys have been 20 plus years.
Man, you should have been doing everything that you was doing. You were destined for this.
Well, it's crazy, but that's going back to the radio days because I had no idea that I was going to be doing this. This is the longest job I ever had, being the hype man for the Golden State Warriors. So when I went to college, I graduated in TV production. So I wanted to work for TV, news, whatever it may be, but it was TV. It was behind the scenes. But radio really opened up my door. That's why the first radio station that hired me was this kids radio station. I mean, I can't make this stuff up, right. But let me tell you, this little station, I took it to another level because, man, when the 94.9s and the KMELs and back in the day, Z95.7, the pop
I remember,
music.
I remember, yeah.
Z95.7 was the closest to play that pop music, but we were the only station at that time. We played NSYNC, Backstreet, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, all the pop music, all the way up through Miley Cyrus, Hillary Duff, so no one would touch it, right? But you know what? I took that opportunity, practiced my skill. It just came by accident because I was doing little shows for, smaller events, this and that. And then it started going to concert theaters. Then it was like the Fillmore. Then it was like, it was the arena in Oakland. Then it was Shoreline. And then I was like, I could be on the mic.
Yeah.
So I came up, pretty much my energy and my can-do, anything-goes attitude was what the station needed. Because we're pop music, man. That's like bubblegum this, it's boy band, girl bands, all this stuff. So you got to be on point with energy. But let me tell you, that was the best training ground that got me the job at the Warriors. If it wasn't for that, in a concert that I emceed at, it wasn't even called Oracle, it was the arena in Oakland back in the day. But you guys know who Hillary Duff is, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Lizzie McGuire fan for all those, probably all those fans now are like in their 30s now or something.
What year was it when you started doing the Disney radio station?
Started in 99, but 2002 was when I emceed Hillary Duff's first concert at the arena, sold out show, packed. No opening act. They said, hey, Franco, you're the radio personality. You got to be on stage for 15, 20 minutes straight. I don't care what you say. Keep the energy going. Make some noise. Get all that stuff. So I was doing all sorts of crowd response, everything. Nice. And that's why I had to dig down deep and just go, all out with all that energy. And then the Warriors execs were right backstage with their daughters and kids. And they're like, did you just hype up 20,000 sold out crazy screaming teenagers and their parents? I said, yeah, I'm tired right now. It's crazy. I go, here's my card. We got the new season coming up. We need an MC. I was like, for basketball? He goes, I'm not a PA announcer. He goes, no. We want to do something different. We want to have a show within the show. We need an MC to walk around during timeouts and breaks. You're not the PA guy sitting at the table. We need to host an MC for basketball. I'm like, that's a crazy concept at the time. Now every major team in the NBA has an MC, DJs, all that stuff. The Warriors started all that.
Man, clap your hands for that.
Heck yeah, man. But the Warriors were ahead of the game, though, because think about it. We really didn't have a good product back in the day.
Right.
Come on, Dub Nation fans, we've suffered a lot.
We had the fans.
We was getting free chalupas. They score $100, man, 100 points, and I used to make loops around there getting all them free chalupa coupons.
Oh yeah,
man.
Everybody would get excited, like over 101. Everyone's going, and we would advertise. Remember the other teams?
Yeah.
Come see the Lakers. Come see the Sacramento Kings. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs for $100. We're like, done. Let's do it.
Basically giving away tickets.
I was hurt when we lost the Thunder, man. Like we gave the Thunder to the Thunder, which was crazy.
That's right.
And then we didn't have anything.
That's right.
You were the next.
Yeah.
You were the replacement for the Thunder.
Pretty much like the unofficial kind of mascot hype guy after the Thunder.
Yeah.
But we lost our mascot.
Yeah.
And we still haven't had a mascot.
Exactly.
Since. So it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. But the Warriors, I got to give it up. They started the entertainment within the game. And so that's the modern NBA now. Every team now has an MC like me. 2 now, usually like a guy and girl, and they alternate and whatever. They have a DJ on the court. They got all that stuff now. So the Warriors were ahead of the game 20 some odd years ago.
That's amazing.
Crazy.
Nice, man. We like to gift you something, just for all that and everything. Something
What's
small,
that?
but
What's
we
that?
have Jason from Loveburn here right now.
Oh,
and he would like to bring you a chicken sandwich. For all your duties and accolades and everything that you've done, he was like, man, this guy deserves something.
Hopefully, you brought an appetite with you.
Oh man, I got it. Let me give it a little
Thanks,
try.
Jason.
Live on the air right here.
Yeah,
man, you got. Is this like a
It's a whole chicken.
hybrid Chicken? What is this, man?
That's on steroids.
Are you sure? Is this not turkey? Because it's Thanksgiving's around the corner. No, I'm just kidding. This is a fried chicken.
That's the Barry Bonds edition.
Oh, man. That crunch is perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
What kind of heat did you put on here? You put this like 911 kind of stuff or what?
That's level 2. That's like moderate. Level 3.
Man, this is big. This is huge.
Looks amazing. I had one prior.
Mine's in the back. I had a piece. I need to get after this.
Shout out to Loveburn though, man. This is some good fried chicken. Way to go.
Hell yeah. I had some prior to this.
Thank you.
Right before we started.
So you went to Santa Clara. Before Santa Clara, what city are you from actually?
Born and raised in San Francisco.
That's what I'm talking about. What part of the city?
Grew up in the Mission Excelsior first and foremost, and then after that, my mom remarried, and then ended up in the Sunset.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah,
I know a little bit about the Excelsior. I went to Burbank at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. what school did you go to?
Well, see, I went. So this is the crazy thing. See, I'm an only child, so my mom, she's like, okay, this kid's gonna learn 5 different languages. So growing up, I learned Tagalog, right? Philippine, dialect right there. English, of course, at home. And then I went to a bilingual French school in the city called French American International School.
How did your parents even find out about that?
I have no idea.
I didn't even know that existed.
That's what I'm saying. I literally only had 22 kids in my class. I was the only Filipino in the class. We had like one of each. One Chinese kid, one Japanese kid, one Russian kid, a lot of Euro kids. But I learned French and English since I was 5, and I actually lived in France. I was an exchange student, so I was learning that. I was learning Spanish. I was learning German. I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. I already had 5 languages at the time. Man. So I went to school, French American, which is a bilingual school, and then kept it in the city. I went to Sacred Heart Cathedral in the
private
city.
School, huh?
Private school, and yeah, man, one kid, they said, hey, we're going to have a Catholic school, private school. We're going to go bilingual, trilingual, whatever. And then I went to Santa Clara. So I kind of kept it going, never left. But Bay Area is home, man, San Francisco, born and raised.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Man, you were kind of ahead of the game at all points in your life. You know what I'm saying? Just not even knowingly.
Well, you know what's crazy is when you're immersed in cultures different than yours since you're like 5,
yeah.
People, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter. Like we were just like
gravitate towards you, man.
It was just we were just a united, nations back then and stuff. And so it wasn't anything different to me. You know what I mean? I had Filipino food coming home, but at school we had like French, influenced food. And then, one of our teachers would bring Spanish food and this and that. And that's what San Francisco's about.
Yeah.
It's a melting pot. The Bay is a melting pot.
Yeah.
And so I think where we are right now, like the Warriors and having probably the most diverse fan base in probably all the NBA, it was the right time to have someone look like me. I am still the first and only Asian American Hypeman MC in the NBA.
Wow.
Still, 20 years. First one, and I think...
Give it up for him for that one. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, I don't know if you looking into other professions or anything, man, but I could definitely see you doing like some voiceovers on like, a Disney movie or something.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You got that voice. I want to stick to that. With your voice, I want to be honest. It wasn't when I heard you came onto the show, when you're coming onto the show and doing this with us, I was kind of like, I don't really know who that is. Then I did some research on you and everything, but the minute I heard your voice, I was like, I know who that is.
I've heard this guy.
Right. So the question is, have you ever introduced yourself to somebody, or have people ever identified you by your voice before that they didn't know what you look like or whatever, but they heard your voice and like, hey, I know you from somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, that happens?
And that's radio for you.
Okay.
Because literally these kids back in the day, because I was at Radio Disney for 11 years, I was introducing pop concerts on stage with literally Backstreet, NSYNC, so you see Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears. I mean, these were Disney pop artists before they blew up. Right. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
But these fans were following them since day one. And so these kids grew up listening to me be an MC and a hype man, a radio personality on the radio for Radio Disney. And then when I moved over to the Warriors, these kids were, also going to those games. So everywhere I walked, like I'd go to like Costco or a grocery store. You know, I'm talking to my wife in one aisle, and then I'm just talking to her regularly. I see a head in the aisle.
Yo.
A couple times. And then I'm like, okay. Then they go back around and they say, man, your voice sounds familiar. I heard you in the next aisle. You don't happen to be, you know, and you know, it was like either the radio guy or the Warriors. And then I started doing, you know, the Raiders stuff. So I was doing TV. And so the TV and the radio stuff, and I'm like, man, I've heard your voice before. Like even before, you know, they even know my name. But here's the funny thing. I should coin the website. It's the Warriors guy. Like they don't know Franco Finn, but they know the Warriors guy.
The Warriors guy.
I mean,
exactly.
that was for a long time. And then finally, I guess now, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff on TV and radio and whatever. So they're like, Franco Finn, the Warriors guy.
I definitely knew your voice before. I was more recognized with your. I recognized your voice more than your face, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's you know
what?
what?
I saw a video. I was like,
I've heard this. I mean, if you've been to a game in 20 years, you've probably heard me do the starting lineups and even bleeding through the TV. I mean, if you've been watching the playoffs, the finals. But I got promotions, commercials. You know, I also freelance for Cron 4. I was on Coffee TV. I had a couple other shows in between Raiders stuff here and there. So, you know, my voice and my face would show up somewhere. But
you're like the voice.
Oh, I appreciate. You know what's funny is people call me the Filipino Ryan Seacrest. Man.
Okay,
I can see that.
Not bad.
I'm like, is that a good thing? I said, all right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Because Ryan Seacrest is everywhere. He's got his top radio format, right? He's got his TV. He's got, you know, Live with Kelly and Ryan. He's producing the E stuff with the Kardashians. I mean, the guy is everywhere. You talking about, you know, hometown heroes. I know we're going to get to that, but I got a lot of them, and we'll get to that.
We're going to cheers to that.
Oh, man. Here we go. We go another round.
Another one.
Another round. Yeah. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Love your sponsor. Grey Goose. Makes me good. All right.
So with all your many different jobs, or definitely in the public, what is the most embarrassing thing you've done or happened to you while hosting?
Oh, well, hosting live, I'll get back to that. But on camera, I remember when I was working with the Oakland Raiders, you know, I had a little thing at the end called the Fin Zone. It was the fun side of the Raiders. So imagine the Raiders are the rough, tumble, you know, the silver and black. It's got that image. Well, they knew I was a Disney guy, and our Disney sister station broadcasted the radio station for the Raiders. So they said, Franco, why don't you do a little TV segment at the end of our silver and black show, but it's going to be the fun side of the Raiders, kids, like ladies, and like just the fun side. I'm like, you want me to soften up the Raiders image?
Impossible.
I was like, how am I going to do this? But hey, I found a way. I was in the parking lot interviewing fans. And so this is one of the most embarrassing moments. Not really for me, but it was more for the kid. So there was, you know, kids that I would interview say, all right, what do you love about the Raiders? You know, and all these questions I would ask these kids. Well, this kid was probably like 4 or 5 years old. His mom's like, hey, get him on camera. I was like, all right. I'll get him on camera. He looked like he was a shy guy already. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make your mom happy and get you on TV. So I go up and I'm talking to the kid. I'm like, so tell me, Bobby, who's your favorite Raider player? What do you love most about the Raiders? And, you know, he gives us his little answer. You know, it's all cute and everything. Little did I know, as I'm interviewing him, I'm like, why am I in the puddle? Ooh. This kid peed during my whole 2-minute segment. Whoa. He peed like
and
a
nobody's
river.
saying anything.
No one said anything. I was smelling something. My feet were in like, I was like,
soggy socks.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, it's not raining today. And I was like, why am I in a puddle? And I looked down and I'm like, you know, I'm filming this thing. This kid is peeing while I'm interviewing him, and he keeps a still face, and it was hilarious. And I was like, let's keep it rolling right here. I just hope he doesn't do anything else besides pee right here. But it was hilarious. But that was a moment that was just kind of crazy because it caught me off guard because I never had anybody pee while I would interview him. So that's one I remember. But live hosting, though, I mean, you know, there's a lot of blunders that happen, though. I mean, like, you know, when you're interviewing people live, you know, when they're excited, you just have to make sure there's no F-bombs, no cuss words, because you're broadcasting, you know, 20,000 people. Right. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'd make sure when I'm interviewing fans, you know, I'm holding the mic. I'm not giving it to them because they'll say, you know, all this, that, whatever. And I remember this one girl, she was just like super excited she won this contest. She was like, oh, shit. show you shit. I was like, super duper. And I was like, and then my producers in the back, did you just say shit? I'm like, no, super duper. It's all good. And it was just some crazy. But there's this one time I remember, so Too Short, this is a funny story.
Oh, this is great.
So Too Short comes, one of the games, playoff games, he comes in, he comes, makes appearance, E40, all those guys, they all come down to the Warrior games. So Too Short comes in, he's like, all right, cool. Like my boss goes in my ear, he goes, hey, Too Short's there. Let's get him to do a one-liner to say, hey, it's Too Short. You're watching Warriors TV, or have him do some little one-liner drops, right? And so I'm like, hey, Short, come over here. He's like, oh, hey, what's up? I said, can you record in here? But here's the thing, we got to wait till the fans left. And when they were doing the recording, the funny thing is they were recording live in the control room, but they were using my mic, which broadcasts to the entire arena, but people are exiting, but there's still a lot of people still in the building.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, Short, I'm just letting you know we're going to record you live. We're going to hear you on the speaker. So can you keep it clean and all that? Because we just want to make sure we get a clean line from you. Like, hey, Too Short here. I'm watching Warriors TV or something like that. Mm-hmm. He's like, I got you. He goes, he's like, all right, this guy will do it. He's not going to let me down. He goes, all right, this is your boy Too Short, repping the Bay, blah, 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 blah. You're watching Warriors TV. And I was like, all right, cool, clean. Yeah, biatch! I was like, oh my God. Dude, my ear was blowing up, man. My producer up there, I go, man, I told you. Don't let us. How was I supposed to know?
Yeah.
He told me he wasn't going to cuss.
Right.
But he said, biatch.
Man, that's what he known for.
But that's Short, though,
Yeah,
bro.
Exactly.
And all the fans know it too.
And all the fans. And you hear all the,
I would have got so juiced, win or lose.
I would have turned back around. Yeah.
Oh, man, it was hilarious. I was like, oh, of course Short's gonna do that. I was like, but that was kind of a funny moment, Right. I mean, anything goes, man.
Have you fell down the stairs?
Actually, that's a good question. Yes, I have.
I don't blame you.
Because I was running up and down. Because sometimes, I'm putting in like 20,000 steps. I'm going up top, down low, this and that. And it's embarrassing because everyone's watching you. Mm-hmm. And yes, I did fall down. I actually did a freaking somersault. I could have cracked my skull, man. And but luckily though, fans caught me though.
Ooh,
as I literally turned around.
That shows you're a great host then.
That's right.
Because they didn't like you. They would let you go.
They would have let me go. And crack my head.
Save the MC.
But they were cool. They literally caught me in midair. I did a flip because I went down the stairs so fast because I had to get from one timeout to another. And I did roll down just a couple times. It
had to be at Oracle, right?
It was at Oracle.
Because if you're at Chase now, if you're up top and you fall, that's...
You're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's straight up. That's north and south right there.
Speaking on MCs and hosts, who's your favorite, or who'd you learn from, or who inspires you?
Okay, so that's an easy one because man, if you're from the Bay Area, Renell number one to me. I mean, when listen to Renell in the morning, the Zoo Crew and all that stuff, I was like, man, this.
Oh, you bring back the good old days.
She was like dynamic, right? I mean, you didn't hear a lot of females like that, but she had energy, always positive. Now she's like, she calls me baby brother. She's big sister to me. Mm-hmm. And so I look up to her. She is like one of the ultimate, like kind of hosts radio wise, back in the day. And I remember, man, I'm dating myself though, because back in the day, they used to have this thing too. Like I wanted to be like a smooth radio DJ. I don't know if you ever remember this. There was a guy named Evan Luck or Theo Mizahara. This is back in the day. So Theo Mizahara was a Japanese dude, number one, okay, in the Bay Area major market.
I'll say with that last name, that kind of makes
sense.
Yes,
exactly. But this guy had like a Barry White baritone voice, like a sexy, like deep voice, and he would do this thing called Love Lines. And I'm like, damn, this guy is smooth. And ladies would just call in. They said, it's Theo Mizahara here with Love Lines. It's, and like this dedication stuff. I mean, I'm dating this was like back in the day when, if you called in and you liked a girl, you would call in to Cameo request line. But Theo Mizahara, man, I was like, because, when you hear that voice, you're like, how does he look like? Because radio, exactly. You're making it up. Yeah. So I looked him up. I'm like, this guy's a Japanese dude. I'm like, what?
False advertisement.
Right. And I didn't really realize it. But then that's kind of, the beauty of radio. It's like theater of the mind. So I started in radio. And so that's why, my voice was always, that's the best training ground for anybody that wants to be a host or MC or anybody. The best hosts out there started in radio. Ryan Seacrest, look at Howard Stern. That's radio. I'm talking even way back like Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
All these people started
There's
in
a
radio.
lot of rappers.
Rappers in
artists.
radio?
Yeah, they started in radio.
Who else is there? I mean, Sway, when Sway
Yeah,
was
Sway.
in the Bay. Oh, man. Sway was-
Ludacris was a DJ before he was a
Ludacris
rapper.
is
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't? Yeah, he was a DJ, right?
Yeah, he was a DJ
And
before he
so
started rapping.
he's pretty off the hook. And
Swiss
there's
Beats, a lot
Swiss
of
Beats,
producers. They
a lot
all
of
were in
producers.
radio. They were all in radio.
Exactly. So radio, I think, starts everything, man. And so there's a couple other guys, even MCs and like PA announcers. The guy that does in Detroit, he's a radio guy. Chauncey Billups.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like he started that kind of stutter, kind of MC hype stuff. But he was a radio guy who was also a PA guy for Detroit basketball. And then it's iconic if you look it up. And this guy was amazing because he had this like he brought that kind of swagger to starting lineups.
Yeah.
He was like Chauncey Billups. So I kind of took a little bit of this, took a little of that. So when I was doing my intros, I practiced this stuff in the shower. My wife's like, "Hey, can you quiet it down, man?" Like I was like, I gotta practice, But when like Harrison Barnes was with us, I was like Harrison Barnes and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. That kind of evolved from that.
Right.
And like Kevin Durant was one of my favorites when we had him. So I was like, okay, we're gonna introduce him first.
Damn you, Draymond.
I know, man. We could have had 2, 3, 4, 5 more championships by now, but whatever. But
Yeah.
anyways, Kevin Durant now. So he, when he joined the Warriors, I was like, dang, this is huge.
Right.
I said, okay, the lineup it's going to start with Kevin Durant, it'll go with Klay Thompson, it'll go Bogut, blah, 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 and with Steph Curry, right? So I'm like, I gotta welcome Kevin Durant to the Bay and start him off right.
Right
Like,
way.
what
Yeah.
am I going
Right
to, how am I
way.
going to do Durant? So I was thinking in my head, and this is kind of like where radio kind of comes into play because like, you're just hearing like a starting lineup. That's an intro, right, to your ears. What's going to hype up the crowd to get them started? So I was like, Kevin Durant, okay. I don't want to do Durant. Nah, I already did that with Harrison. I said, I'm going to turn him on like a key, he's starter number one, and he's going to rev up the Warriors engine right now. So I'm like, number 35 from the University of Texas, Kevin Durant. So like
that's
I'm
great.
turning on like the engine because he's about to
Yeah.
start this
That's
Warriors machine. And
That's
so
great.
stuff like that I can remember. And
Well, I mean, you being from the Bay, at least you didn't do Kevin D's nuts.
yeah.
Got him.
And the Bay wanted to. Some were like mixed feelings, like, oh, thanks KD for the championships, and some were like, why you gotta leave us, man? So they
Right.
probably said,
I'm still hurt about that.
I'm still hurt.
So
yeah.
as being an MC, host, whatever, one big thing about Kevin Durant, the reason he said he felt like he left, or that people say, is because he felt like he never got the love. He felt like he couldn't, like they say, he couldn't overshadow, get out of the shadow of Steph Curry
And Klay.
So it was like the Splash Brothers and Kevin Durant, or the Warriors and Kevin Durant.
Right.
In your intros or speaking about him or during the games, did you fall in that line of calling the Warriors outside of Kevin Durant, or were you just including him along with it?
Oh, he was. You know what? Since day one, Kevin was a part of us. I actually got to work with Kevin Durant off the court. So a lot of people don't know. Like when he came to the Bay, he had partnerships and sponsorships and stuff like that. So my full-time job, I actually have a full-time job. I work for Alaska Airlines.
You guys hear that? He got
Yeah.
a full-time job.
Can you believe that?
Full-time job.
Juggling that. People don't realize
Right.
that I work a full-day job before I even get to the arena. I'm already up at 6, 7 a.m.
Do you drink coffee? If so, how much?
coffee, Red Bull? No, it's all
And I ain't
natural.
mad at you.
But what it is I literally just like kind of turn on a switch, man. And part one, all right, I got my work, horse blinders on. I got a job to do. Here's what I got to do. When I go to the arena, people are like, I don't care what you did during the day or this and that.
Right.
You're here to hype up the fans.
Right.
You're here to ride this wave and make some noise and all that stuff. So no matter how tired I am, I just got to like turn on a switch and then turn it off when I get home, step, repeat, and all that. But anyways, going back to Kevin Durant though. So Alaska Airlines worked with Kevin off the court. We were the official airline for Kevin Durant. So he was our celebrity athlete, right? So we would do all these like community events together. And a lot of people don't realize, man, this guy has a big heart. He gave one of the biggest gifts to his alma mater, University of Texas.
Wow.
Like put in like millions into their sports facilities under his name. He refurbished courts all around the world, the Bay Area, overseas and everything. Like, he's not really like vocal about that stuff.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
Kevin, man, he's a complicated guy.
Which is how it used to be in sports prior to social media.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And you know what's funny? When I met with Kevin Durant's agent, Rich Kleiman, right, who comes to all the games, he was our rep that we were working with. Because we were talking about, okay, LeBron is the king, Kobe Bryant, the Mamba.
Right.
Everyone had like a name, like some kind of superhero kind of sponsorship name, Nike or whatever. They would put that, the king. It's good for marketing and branding.
Right.
But you know what, KD, they tried doing Durantula. He didn't like that. All these other names. He's like, no, I'm just KD. So his manager would say, he goes, you know what, Kevin Durant's kind of like a Miles Davis. He's like the jazz player that's like super talented. He doesn't need to let anybody know. His work speaks for itself.
Right.
He doesn't need the king, the Mamba, the whatever.
I don't need a nickname.
I'm just KD and I could ball.
Right.
And like let my game speak for itself. So he was the Miles Davis, the jazz, which is like jazz is like whatever, but this guy is, Miles Davis is a genius, right? If you're a true musician, you respect who Miles Davis is. And that's how Kevin Durant. Kind of silent, quiet, but deadly and talented. And so I got to know him on and off the court. He's a sniper, man.
He's a sniper.
He is.
So speaking on, like you said, he has a big heart. Out of all the athletes you came across with, who was the best athlete to you? Like just the nicest, most genuine, just the best athlete you think that you came across of?
Hands down, Steph Curry.
Oh, I mean that's
the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about it, because a lot of people don't realize the path. He's the best shooter on the planet, right? But when he was drafted out of Davidson, if you look at his report card.
Name 5 other players off of Davidson.
Right?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. But that's the
University, Steph Curry.
He went to a small school, made a name for himself in the biggest stage, which is the NCAAs, lit it up. Undersized, all this. They said, you got to be a point guard now. I mean, the guy had to adjust his game, okay? And then he said, I'm going to get creative. I'm going to create threes. I'm going to step back. I'm going to do half quarters. He changed the game. But the crazy thing is his work ethic, how humble he is. His family has a lot to do with it, man. Dell and Sonia are amazing parents, man. You could just tell. So I have the very first Curry interview with him, his mom, his dad in Dallas when he was a rookie, NBA All-Star. He was invited to, the soft frosh or the three-point stuff. Like, we never had All-Stars back in the day.
Right.
Only on this contest and stuff like that. But I was doing the TV show for the Warriors. They were like, hey, interview Steph Curry and his family. Because, Dell's royalty in the NBA, talk about that, how proud of them with their son. I got to hang out with him. And I remember, man, just walking, because he used to be with Nike. You remember?
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's why he went with Under Armour. He said, I will be Under Armour.
Right.
I don't need the Nikes and Adidas and all that. Because I was with him walking around, and he was nobody yet. I was with his folks and people. They were like, hey, if you got any opportunities that for Steph, let me know. And I was like, okay, but I said, I believe in this kid. Because I see him at practices. I'd see him shoot around.
Lighting it up.
Oh, man. That's why Mark Jackson, people laughed. They said, we got the best shooting backcourt
he did say
I've
that
ever
a long
seen.
time ago. He said that a long time ago.
I was like, wait. These two that nobody knew about, Steph and Clay, and lo and behold, look at these guys, man.
Right.
Crazy, right? But Steph, though, off the court, man, he's just a real guy. I mean, obviously, he's his star. Star has risen quite a bit. And so he's, it's harder to get access to him. But back in the day, man, him and Aisha, they were rolling downtown.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was.
I used to always catch him in, who's he sponsored by now, the clothing line?
Under Armour?
No. It's actually where you get the suits and stuff from.
Oh,
like Express?
Express. So
Yeah.
I actually ran into him in Express one time.
No way.
Yeah, because downtown, walk right into
this is
Express.
I was about to say the
Steph
same
Curry.
thing.
Yeah.
One of my most regretful stories, real quick, is he just got drafted. The year he got drafted, he was in Nordstrom with his mother, his sister, his mom and sister. And I was right across him. No security, no nothing. He just got drafted.
Yeah.
And I was looking across. I was like, damn, that's Steph Curry. And I'd already been watching him at Davidson and everything.
Yeah.
But I was too chicken to go up to him. And he was cool. He was like sitting there chilling. I was like, I know I could go over there and ask him for a picture. But I was so nervous and scared and everything. But with you saying that he has the biggest heart, and of course everybody in the Bay Area thinks he's great, why do you think he gets so much hate outside of
It's because he's not the typical guy that you would think when, like LeBron, man, we knew when LeBron came to the league, he was a self-proclaimed king. I mean, the guy was a phenom. Mm-hmm. He was a man-child. He was built like a man already, and you knew he was going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is like the average guy that literally created his game and made others better. He made himself better.
Changed the game of basketball.
The NBA. Like, you got to move that three-point line to the half court now, because now kids are jacking threes from everywhere now. They're like, Steph Curry for three or whatever. He changed the game like that. He is literally the best shooter of all time. And I think people just hate him because, I mean, look, he's a good-looking guy, a little average dude, but damn, like, he'll light you up. It don't matter how big or whatever you are. He will find a way, create space, boom, knock a three right in front of you.
That's all he needs is space.
He didn't even have to look. He didn't have to look. You see shots where he just goes like this, looks away. Like, he's so confident. People think he's cocky, but no, the guy knows his game, and he knows what he can do. And let me tell you, he's a competitor, but he's a good guy off the court, you know? And I knew since day one, you know, the Curry that's walking around downtown, man. Yeah. I'm talking to him and Aisha just literally their first or second year. They got married the same year that my wife and I got married. And we're talking about weddings and like, oh, I got married last month. I go, I'm getting married next month. And we just had, you know, just kind of a bond, and we're just chatting it up. Nobody knew him. And it's that story. It's that journey. I think that people either, you know, love it or hate it. But we know in the Bay, he was this baby-faced assassin. Like, where did he come from?
And I think people don't like him too, just because he makes...
He has fun. Effortless. He has fun, though. That's the thing about it.
He has fun, and he makes it look easy. He makes it look easy.
But that's the thing about it. When they see him having fun playing basketball, it creates... They think it's him being
not taking it serious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he'll do a little shimmy. He'll do all that.
He's having fun. He's enjoying the game.
That's what the zest of like having fun is about.
All right, let's get to this, man. Me and him were out in Napa a while ago.
Yeah.
We got into this debate at the table, and we're speaking of having fun, and I agree that you should have fun. So in the finals, the year the Cavaliers came back down 3-1, and we were having a debate about Steph Curry throwing the behind the back pass. That it was tie game at the time. Clay was calling for it. I think Clay had just made like the last bucket, or he had like the last. Yeah. What do you think at that point in time? Because when you saw him throw the pass behind the back and it just went out of bounds, and you saw Clay's face. Clay was like, he was frustrated. So you saw Steve Kerr. What's your take on that? Because we know he let it have fun, and his argument was, well, that's how he plays. You got to accept it for what it is. And my argument was, but at this point in time of the game, you know what I'm saying? Why does he have to throw that pass? So what do you think?
He has been very much criticized in the most intense playoffs, finals, where sometimes he just doesn't show up, right? Mm. But look, I'm kind of on your side a little bit. Like, you kind of get what you get with Steph. Like, if he got it and it went through, he's a hero.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
And my thing is, like, he's great with both hands. So him throwing that pass, he'll make it 9 out of 10 times.
Exactly.
But that one time, it was
and it's magnified because it cost the game.
Exactly.
Right. But that's the thing, and that was my argument with him, that he still hasn't had a comeback for. But there is situational basketball. There is situational.
That is a very good point.
Thank you. You get into situations, and there are certain things that you just don't do.
Yeah. But my argument was, as a player, he's great with both hands. Yeah. He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it majority of the time. So it's like laying up with your left hand. It's not his dominant hand.
No.
But he can shoot a floater with his left hand. Correct. Instead of doing right or left, he can shoot with either or. He can pass with either hand.
And he thought in his mind he could.
Exactly. He didn't think it was going to be out of bounds.
Like I said, you can drive your car with one leg hanging out the window if you want to. That don't make it a great idea. And the only reason why I feel like it was a bad thing to do was because of his peers. I looked at Klay Thompson's face and I looked at Steve Kerr's face. they were just like,
Of course, it went out of bounds. Of course, everybody's be upset about that time.
Of course.
It goes out of bounds.
Well,
of
like
course.
think about it. Like did Magic Johnson, he probably had moments like that many times.
I don't know in that moment.
I mean,
in that moment,
it was a big stage. It cost. I mean, there's a lot of things you could rewind.
they came back. It was 3-3. You know, it's a lot of things, and I don't even.
But
wanna
granted,
get
like
back
this
into
though.
it,
But if we had won
of course,
everything,
of course, it would have
all was forgotten, right?
All was forgotten.
And that's the crazy thing about it. But you know what? I think Kerr would say the same thing, and probably his teammates would say the same thing. Like,
of course.
I would take Steph doing what Steph does.
Definitely.
More so than anything.
Definitely.
Even if it costs the
Definitely.
game, which it freaking hurts. But at the same time,
But I bet you won't be doing that again.
no,
No,
right,
you won't.
exactly. But that's you do have a good point. Like, when you talk about like I'm not gonna drive out the car with my lady, I'm like,
You could do it, but it
do
don't make it a
but,
good idea.
yeah.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
at the time, he thought it was a good idea.
Yeah,
right.
He didn't expect to go out of bounds. So, but yeah.
But we've all done some dumbass things though too.
Right.
So
I mean, but
you know, we're
it's
human
just,
though.
It's just certain situations. But speaking of coming into the future now, and with KD's departure, us the Warriors leaving Oracle,
Yeah.
and now being at Chase Center. What are the differences, man? What are the fans? What were the we know what the fans were like
Because
in Oracle Arena.
we've been here.
Right.
We've been here. So
right.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
before the We Believe days, but those were the greatest times prior.
Oh, my
to
goodness.
What was the strength in numbers but what's the atmosphere like, man? What's it like? What's everything like?
Look, it is different, but it's just like going into a new home and new fresh paint. We've moved in our lifetimes, and it's just like empty walls. Like, hey, we got to make it a home, right? And you got to create some soul. You got to break it in a little bit. I mean, we're only in year one. We already got into COVID. Like, it's a beautiful facility, but yeah, it doesn't have those memories yet. And I think once you create those memories, I think you're gonna definitely, feel like it's more of a home thing, because it is a different vibe. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I walk in there, I get lost all the time. I go up one elevator, I'm like, how the hell did I get up in there?
Their elevator system is kind of confusing.
It's
I was
nuts,
like,
man.
yeah.
Like, where am I going?
Yeah.
The food is awesome though.
Oh yeah.
The food.
Oh, yeah.
The food is
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Just like, Love Burn right here. Thank you so much.
Love
But that's what it's about. It's got that moms and pops feel. Like you got, the
And that was
Betty's
something
fried
that they,
chicken.
that was
right?
something that they were targeting too.
That they wanted it to be like a
local.
hometown, local stuff.
Yeah.
If you have Chase, you definitely get a discount in there. So make sure you use a Chase card.
Yes, you do. But no, honestly, I mean, look, we're gonna make some new memories, man.
But I think part of his question, I don't, Pierre, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Just the difference between the fans now, not more or less just the Chase
No, absolutely.
change.
But you talking about the fans?
'Cause from the
Is it
the
different?
newer, the tech kind of more fans, it's not. It's not the same.
It's not
You
the
know
same.
genuine. When Die Hard when you see it.
Well,
So
I know the faces at Oracle, man. I was there, 17, 18 seasons. So I go up and down the aisle. I see the same faces every night. And, man, I go to this new place. I see a whole new clientele.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what
It
we
is,
want to know.
but
That's what
then
we want
again,
to know. What is going on?
It's the hype of the new arena. The Warriors are so good. So you're going to get those people coming out of the closet, out of the woodwork to see the spectacle of the Golden State Warriors, which for me, the positive side of it is we get some new fans. That's fine. Man, because, if you're a fan from day one, we suffered more than we celebrated. Come on now. We had 2 decades of just garbage and non-competitive. Man, I'm watching the other day, I'm watching this NBA Dream Team, stuff like that. I'm seeing Chris Webber. He was practicing against the Dream Team. I didn't realize
when
that.
when they beat them.
When they beat them.
Yeah, when they beat them. Yeah.
When they beat them, they had a scrimmage.
Yeah.
And Chuck Daly, the coach for the Dream Team
at the time,
he did
yeah.
that on purpose, but he didn't play Jordan that often. They wanted them to get their run for the money from these college kids. You had Grant Hill, you had Chris Webber, you had Bobby Hurley and those guys, and they actually lost, like you said. But it's crazy because I think about, and then when they, when we got Chris Webber, man, there was promise and all that stuff. This guy was one of the coveted picks of all time. And then he leaves us, but that's been the Warriors since day one.
Man, we were like a training.
We
team.
were a training team. Yeah. Everybody left.
And the thing about me, I wasn't a Warriors fan in the beginning. I was a player fan. So
you like the individual?
I like individual players for a while.
That's fair. There was a lot of great players back then too.
It was Penny. It was Penny first. Everybody loved Jordan. Then it was Penny for me. Then it was Kobe. And then
you gotta respect their game.
And then at a certain point, I got a lot more into basketball, and then I was a Warrior fan.
Yeah.
But it was before the We Believe team. It was a little
Yeah.
bit before that, so I was still going getting the chalupas and stuff.
Oh,
but
yeah.
people used to hate me because how can you like Kobe and be a Warriors fan? I'm like, cause that's the way it is.
But you appreciate these talents, man.
Right.
They're good.
Yeah.
Like I respect Kobe
And
for his
being a
game.
basketball player, we play basketball.
Okay,
so,
see, there you
yeah.
go. But it's crazy. Like Run TMC, for instance. People don't realize that was a short span, but it seemed like
Very small.
larger than life,
Right.
at least to us, because they had that real chemistry and that splash that they made right from the get-go. That's what the Warriors are today, right? You got your Steph, your Clay, your Draymond. They're not branded like Run TMC was,
Right.
but they also were sustainable. And we drafted all those guys. I think that's what makes Warriors, basketball different from others. Yeah, you got your KDs, you got your All-Stars coming
Iggy's and
in.
Kobe people, yeah.
But the three main guys,
Oh, yeah.
homegrown.
And we about
homegrown.
to say that we were just talking about that prior. It was just like, man, I'm hoping we were talking about a speculation that the Warriors might get James Harden.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I don't feel too good about it. And I actually agreed. I was like, yeah, I mean,
We'll give up too much.
Right. Our identity though is
Yeah, right.
creating our players and giving them that
Yeah.
that Warriors foundation. You
Yeah.
know, and
That's why Wiseman, man. Come on,
Right.
what do y'all think about Wiseman?
like-
he
yeah,
speaks
yeah.
Chinese.
What?
Yes. He speaks
Man,
Chinese.
I did not know
And
that.
then the
That's
other
a
guy they
Snapple
drafted,
fact.
right? And then the other guy who they drafted, they had them introduce themselves in different languages.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was like 3-4 days ago. I saw.
I missed the whole press conference, the whole thing. I mean, I was there on draft day at Chase Center doing a virtual thing, but I knew that Wiseman was kind of the best fit for us. We needed a big man like
Right,
that.
Definitely.
right.
So hopefully he stays, and there's no crazy
Hopefully.
major stuff going on like that. But just like Steph, Clay, Draymond, like if he grows up, in our system, man,
It could be something,
Can you
something special.
imagine?
It could be something special.
I think so.
And coming into our system, he's not asked to do too much. Just do what you do.
what you
Rim run, play defense, have
Right.
good screens. Like you're not
Exactly.
asked to score a whole lot of points.
He'll get better, and then even with the dynamics, even if he just gets the fundamentals of shooting, and then what the basketball IQ of Draymond. One thing I will say about Draymond, although I like Draymond, I won't say I don't like him, but his IQ, and he is a utility knife.
He
you know
is.
what I'm saying? He can do a whole lot of things.
His numbers may not show on
no,
the
but
stat sheet every night,
right.
but it's those little things that just get you over the.
Pascal's
Right.
picking up a lot of that from him
He
too.
is, man.
Pascal
that-
picked up a lot from
that's
that.
his replacement.
Yeah. Oh, it
Just
is.
if he doesn't know it
Coming
already.
soon. Yes.
Coming soon. And Pascal, let me tell you, that kid's hungry.
Oh yeah, he is. When he
Hungry.
dunks on people, I be
Hungry,
like, "Woo,
man."
He got a little bit of Russell Westbrook in him.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you, or how did you take the news with Klay Thompson's recent injury?
Man, I could not believe it. I was at Chase Center, the draft party, right? And so I was like, okay, we got number 2. I think we're gonna get Wiseman. We're looking good.
Happened
Dub
on
Nation.
that day, too.
Happened on that day. But you know what? At the same time, I think this could be a huge lesson for the Dubs, man. And you got to do. I mean, look, Stephen A. Smith said, "You're not gonna win a championship without Klay Thompson." He said it right out.
No,
front.
he said it, yeah.
He said,
he did say
they're
that.
not
He
going
did
to
say
win
that.
it. They might get into the playoffs,
Right.
but they're not going to win a championship.
Right.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm happy if we get into 5, 6, 7, or
Steph
8.
Curry took a
Let's do it.
nameless college. I know the college had a name, but they nameless to me. To the Final Four.
Thank
Do
you.
not doubt that man. Please don't doubt that
Exactly.
man. Please don't. I know NBA and college is different, but please don't doubt what that boy Steph Curry is capable of doing.
And he's hungry
Oh,
now.
yeah, he's hungry. He's hungry.
like, wait a minute. I sat out this whole
Is
season.
that watching? Oh, y'all talking about Damian Lillard and
man, just-
Jamal Murray and which they did shine. They got Devin Booker looking
Of
amazing.
course.
Steph Curry's like, y'all must have forgot.
Watch. That's why he's going to be on it,
Y'all
man.
must have
And that's
forgot.
why I'm saying, man, Dub Nation. Of course, I'm going to hype it up because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully in person one of these days. But you know what? We're going to be back. Act 2, Chapter 2. Don't miss it, man. Don't miss it. I'm telling you, you don't want to be sleeping on this new look Warriors right now
Okay.
because they got some talent. They got some deep talent,
Yeah,
and
no.
they're young. And that's the thing. We're going to be surprised. I honestly think.
I hope Jordan Poole got better.
And I think the great thing is like not having that expectation like for the young fellas.
Oh,
They're coming
yeah.
in. There's no high expectation. So for them to just get out and be able to play.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll make it.
And you know what's crazy? You can't. I mean, you can only go up from the bottom.
Exactly.
I mean, 15 wins or whatever the hell they had.
Right.
You could damn do better than 15 wins, and that is a win in itself.
I think that was a smart move by the Warriors. Actually,
Yeah.
that was planned. That was planned. It was
We gonna take
that was
break.
planned.
It was a diabolical plan, man.
Yeah.
So-
Steph Curry has a broken hand. He's gonna be out for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Rest of the year.
So Franco,
Yeah.
we got a couple questions to ask you before we get up out of here. So what is a hometown hero to you?
So hometown hero to me is somebody that's, I say homegrown, and that's someone that is, from an area that could really inspire and uplift and really just kind of be just like a role model to me. That's what it is. So when I mentioned Renelle, she's like a hometown hero. She's somebody that paved the way, female, African-American, a radio voice you heard, grew up with, doing good stuff. She does a lot of charity work. I work with her a lot of times too. So I see all her stuff on and off the air. Mm-hmm. She is a hometown hero. That's to me what a hometown hero is.
Oh, that's dope, because that's going into our next question. Give us 2 people you would recommend to go on the show that may be considered a hometown hero to you.
Oh man, Renelle is my gal.
We definitely gotta get in touch with her.
She is. But she is just, man. When you're around her, you just feel that positive energy. And I'm the same as her, so that's why I think I
definitely feel that.
I'm like her person, and she's just like, man, this girl has gone through decades, waking us up, been on this. She's been the voice of the giant, all this stuff. Man, it's just a breath of fresh air every single time I see her. I always want to give her a big old hug. Nice. And so she's definitely a definition of a hometown hero to me.
And that's do you have anybody? So you nominate her to come on. Who's the other person? If you think of another,
I would say
Steph.
Klay Thompson.
You know
ain't
what?
got nothing else to do. Klay Thompson.
Clay and Rocco. No, actually, you know what's funny? They do a lot of work too. Him and his family do the Thompson Family Foundation. They would be good. I would say the whole family, because they are like hometown heroes in their own right. But they're too big of a family. We're talking about a guest. I'd probably say, aside from Renelle, I gogotta go music. You gotta go with Earl, man. E40, man.
Oh,
Hey.
way to go.
Now let me tell you,
Sprinkle me.
Okay, look.
Can you sprinkle HTH Radio cast with your presence, brother?
Man. But you know what's crazy though? I got to know him over the years, being at the Warrior games, which is crazy because he would come in. I'm like, E40, that is a legend, right?
Fun fact: me and him have the same birthday.
What?
November 15th.
So he just passed, right?
Yeah.
Well, happy belated, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
But you know what? What's crazy about him is he kind of reinvents himself.
Oh yeah.
Stays
look,
with it.
back in the day, someone rapping like, my name is E40, like who sounds like that?
Yeah.
He's an OG,
That was
man.
one of his biggest knocks. That I don't understand what he's saying. And you look at what hip hop is transcended into. But
Look
now
at it.
you don't even, these Atlanta rappers and these rappers who are very popular, they are rapping and you don't understand. You just hear the melody and whatever the case may be. But he was just so way ahead of the curve.
He was so ahead of the, and then look, now he's got his own tequila.
Yep.
You know,
Wine.
He's got wines,
Cognac.
He's doing the food thing.
Cornering the alcohol industry, just cornering it.
But that's crazy. Like he evolved. He's a from Vallejo, man.
Yeah.
And look what he made though.
You gotta say the Valley Joe.
The Valley Joe. Yeah.
You gotta say the Valley
But no,
Joe.
it's true though. So you know what? You talk about a
I like those
hometown
two
hero,
picks.
man. Those two to me, like talk Bay Area icons. They kind of evolved with us, and it's not just one generation, it's multi-generations. That's what's crazy about it though, you know.
Nice.
But yeah, those two got my two favorites, man. Especially getting to know them over the last 15 20 years. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be interviewing them, talking to them, saying what's up to them, and being on camera with them.
Yeah.
And here I am doing this. It's like, damn, this is pinch me. This is crazy. You have
a good job.
It's been a fun ride,
some
man.
great jobs.
So also, for other people, if they're looking out, want to find you in other places, how can they find you?
I'm on social media like everyone. I don't do the TikTok yet,
Nah.
though. Man, you guys TikTok?
I have a daughter, so I have.
My daughter isn't old enough, but I'm sure I'll be right behind him soon.
Man, other than TikTok, at Franco Finn, you know what? Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's awesome, and it's great because you know what? I've got to reach out from fans, not just here, but like overseas, like I have kids in the Philippines who are mimicking my starting lineup.
Nice.
And they'll send me a direct message and they'll be like, oh, you know what? My son is 5 years old. He copies your every single intro. And I got videos that they're sending to me. I'm like, what? These are kids in the Philippines?
You gotta start sharing that.
That's what's crazy about it. So,
that.
they're listening. People are out there. I never thought that people would watch the stuff that's inside the Warriors feed, but that's what they see overseas. They don't see commercials. They see the content that's in the arena. So I got people from Australia, from China, from Philippines, all over the world that watch Warriors TV, the inside broadcast. So now with the internet, man, it's just crazy. Like just to think that, you inspire people to mimic you.
Just right here, your reach is just
boom, click of a thing.
And I'm pretty sure of course, it's great from where you started, just radio, and just to jump into it goes with internet and reaching so many more people.
And the thing is, I'm homegrown. I am homegrown from the bottom up. Like, I didn't leave this market to go to New York, to LA, to wherever market. I stayed here just like Rennell did and all these other people. And so, you know what? This is home. I can't leave home. You build the brand. I don't care if I'm a bigger fish in a smaller pond. Like, I didn't want to go to LA or New York. I had an opportunity to back in my early days, but I said, no, I'm going to stay right here, and this is where it's at.
We appreciate you. So we got one more question.
Yes, sir.
In all our establishments, we have neon signs in them.
Yes.
If you can create one, what would yours say?
That's a great question, man. How many words can I get?
You pick it.
I can do whatever I want.
Whatever
How much
you want.
you willing to spend?
And we need that energy from you. We know you got it. So however you say it, you got to.
I mean, it's simple. It's make some noise. I don't know how many eyes and how many exclamations.
Yeah.
But that's just it, man. Make some noise. That's just, it seems like the most, 3 words that come out of my mouth.
That works. That works.
Hey, Franco, man, it was great having you on here. And
great pleasure.
I just want to say something real quick. We were all asking our one of our producers. He was like, "Who was the hype man before Franco Finn?" And you actually answered it when you were telling us about yourself. Like, now the words came to me as a new thing. So I was like, "Damn, that's crazy."
Yeah,
so,
well, I do want to give credit. There was there
was somebody.
Well, there was, but not to the extent of what I'm doing.
Okay.
There was a host that was kind of roving around that did a couple of contests. His name is Dugar, and he's a comedian now.
Okay.
But he was laid back. He's a funny guy, but they wanted a hype man, right? Okay. And I think there might have been another guy before me, but it was more of a test thing. But when they came to me, they said, look, I want someone that is going to be friendly to kids, adults, everybody, like just, a family guy. And being at Disney, I had to, cater to every age group. But they wanted also a hype man that's going to kind of bring the energy when we need them to stand up, make some noise, all that stuff. And then I started doing the starting lineups and all that. The other ones before me, they didn't do any of that stuff. They loved my voice. They loved my energy. They said, can you do the starting lineup for this preseason game? Let me hear you live. I'm like, you want me to do the lineup? Because we have a weird setup. This is a 2-person operation. There's the PA guy who does the calling of the game. Foul, blah, 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 shooting for 2, all that. But then I am strictly the intro for the Warriors starting lineup. And you know what's crazy? When the players do not have me intro it,
not the same.
They go. They're like, wait. That's not my intro.
Franco at it.
Which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got Steph, Clay, Draymond, Kevin Durant, and I'm introducing these all-stars. That's pretty awesome. And then they're creatures of habit, right? So I just do it every single time. It's a 2-person operation. Not a lot of NBA teams do that. It's usually just the PA guy. So it's kind of a unique hybrid of what I do as a hype man.
Man,
I love it, man.
You are amazing at what you do, man.
Thank you, my man.
Your voice is stellar.
And you're a hometown hero. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
Franco,
thank you, Franco.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.